What's up, Broncos country? You won't believe the bombshell that just dropped in the Denver Broncos world. We're talking about news that changed everything in the last 48 hours and could define this team's future in the 2025 NFL playoffs. The path to first place in the AFC is wide open, and there are secrets about Pat Bryant you need to know now. I'm a die-hard Broncos fan and follow every move at Mile High, and I can guarantee what I'm about to reveal will make your jaw drop. There's a detail involving Sean Payton and the Broncos defense that nobody is talking about in traditional analysis, but it could be the key to the Super Bowl. Stick with me until the end, because you'll understand why this 2025 Denver Broncos season is different from anything we've seen since 2015. Look, I don't know if you noticed, but the universe just gave Broncos country an early Christmas present. We just received surprisingly good news about our Week 17 and 18 opponents, and it completely changes the game. While everyone was worried about the loss to the Jacksonville Jaguars in Week 16, the Chiefs lost key players, including their second backup quarterback, and now they'll have to play with Shane Buechele next week. Do you know who Shane Buechele is? Exactly. Nobody knows. And there's more. The Chargers just lost Denzel Perryman to a 2-game suspension. This guy is the heart of their defense, the linebacker who commands respect and attitude on every play. So while the national media is trying to create panic, saying the Denver Broncos collapsed after one loss, the reality is that our direct rivals are falling apart at crunch time. It's like fate decided, hey, Denver, you're getting the golden opportunity. Don't waste it. But hold on, because the story gets even better. Pat Bryant, who gave us that scare at the end of the Jaguars game when he was carted off, was released from the hospital last night. The diagnosis? A concussion. Obviously, nobody wants to see a player injured, but considering everyone feared a neck injury or something much worse, this was one of the best bad news we could receive. Remember Christian Watson of the Packers? Everyone thought the worst, and he came back quickly. It's exactly that type of situation. The fact is that Denver Broncos news today is much more positive than ESPN wants you to believe. The shallow analysis you see out there forgets to mention that this team has 12 wins and only 3 losses, that Bo Nix is playing his best football at the perfect time, and that our defense, yes, the same one everyone's criticizing, just neutralized one of the most explosive offenses in the NFL 2 weeks ago when we held the Green Bay Packers. You know what Alex Singleton said after the loss? We're a 12-3 team. Y'all are trying to criticize us and say we're not good enough. We're not going to let you ruin our party now. And he's absolutely right. Since when does one loss erase 14 games of dominance? Since when does a one-game sample matter more than an entire season where we were never losing at the end of games until those 2 games we lost? Now comes the part that nobody in traditional media has the guts to talk about, because it doesn't get clicks, doesn't generate controversy, and doesn't feed the drama that NFL analysts love to create. So pay attention, because this is pure gold for any intelligent Broncos fan. The game against the Jacksonville Jaguars was their Super Bowl. No, seriously, it was literally Jacksonville's Super Bowl. Liam Cohen, the Jaguars coach, spent the entire season preparing for that game like it was the equivalent of your crazy uncle training all year for the family turkey bowl, just to intercept a pass from your dad and yell, "How do you like that?" in your face. They hung motivational posters in the locker room. They turned an innocent comment from Sean Payton about small market team, which is literally a fact since Jacksonville is one of the smallest markets in the NFL, into emotional fuel. And it works. Once. It works when you have 2 weeks to prepare, when you put all your emotional energy into a single game, when you use slogans and catchphrases to hyper-motivate your players. But you know what happens next? The effect disappears. Because you can't play every game like it's the Super Bowl, you can't use the "nobody believes in us" trick all season long, especially when you've already proven you're good. And the Broncos? The Broncos have a winning culture. They play for each other. They don't need motivational slogans or smelling salts before the game to play well. As Bo Nix said after the loss, We got punched in the mouth, but it's better to get punched in the mouth now, in December, than in January. That's the mentality of a team that knows where it wants to go. And several players, when you watch the post-game press conferences, made it clear, all right, congratulations, Jacksonville. You got way too hyped for a regular season game. We'll see you again in the playoffs, and we'll see how it goes. John Franklin Myers said that. Troy Franklin said that. Nick Bonito said that. This isn't arrogance, it's confidence. It's the difference between a team that knows it has a lot of football ahead and a team that just spent all its emotional ammunition in a single battle. Now let's talk about the Denver Broncos defense, because that's the elephant in the room everyone wants to discuss. Andrew Mason and other analysts are trying to create this narrative that Cliff Kingsbury discovered the secret code to beat Vance Joseph's system, and that now all teams will copy it in the playoffs. Nonsense. Absolute nonsense. First, we completely neutralized the Green Bay Packers offense 2 weeks ago. Do you remember that? Or are we going to pretend that game didn't happen just because it doesn't fit the narrative? Second, Nick Bonito came out publicly and said, "We haven't been playing our kind of football, and we're going back to playing that way." John Franklin Myers admitted, "It's all on the defensive line. We're going to get better." These guys know what needs to be fixed. Sean Payton was straight to the point. I don't believe in this story of a sharp drop in performance in December. I think each of these games stands on its own. And he's right. There's no December collapse. What exists is one bad game, which every team has during the season. Even the 2015 Super Bowl, that legendary team that won it all, had bad games in December. The difference is nobody remembers it because they won in the end. Here is where it gets really interesting, and this is why I said at the beginning that this news is bombastic. The path to first place in the AFC West is totally open. Let me break it down for you. Week 17, Denver Broncos versus Kansas City Chiefs on Christmas. The Chiefs will play with their third-string quarterback because Patrick Mahomes already tore his ACL, and now Gardner Minshew is also injured. This means we'll face one of the best defenses in football, but we'll catch them at their most vulnerable moment. It's like playing chess, and your opponent just lost their queen and rook in the same move. Week 18, Denver Broncos versus Los Angeles Chargers. And guess what? Denzel Perryman, their starting linebacker, who is the heart of the defense, is suspended. They'll play without one of the most important pieces of their team. Obviously, I wanted to beat the Chargers when they're at their peak, but hey, if they're going to give us an advantage, we'll gladly take it. And there's more. If we win these two games, we win the AFC West regardless of what happens with the rest of the conference. It's that simple. It's pure mathematics. It's destiny unfolding before us. Now, about R.J. Harvey. This kid is starting to show why he was one of the most positive surprises of the 2024 Denver Broncos season. All the doubts about him at the beginning of the season were whether he could run between the tackles, whether he had enough size and strength to be a dominant running back in the NFL. And what did we see in the game against the Jaguars? His best run started up the middle, and his ability to go from inside to outside on that play was phenomenal. His ability to break tackles was incredible. If you look at his current workload and project it for a full season as a starter, he would easily surpass 1,000 rushing yards. And consider this, he's a rookie. He's just starting to explore what he can be. Next year, with a complete offseason of preparation as the #1 running back, he could be a Pro Bowl name. Mark my words. And Bo Nix? Man, this quarterback is starting to play at the level we predicted all season long. If he really reaches that next level in the playoffs, and all signs indicate he will, it's going to be something very, very hard to defend. His combination with Courtland Sutton is getting lethal. The connection with Troy Franklin is improving every week, and Marvin Mims Jr. continues to be that explosive threat that can change a game in a single play. But here's the secret nobody's talking about, and that I promised to reveal at the beginning. The Denver Broncos received the second highest number of Pro Bowl votes among all NFL teams. Let me repeat that. Second highest number of votes in the entire league. You know what that means? It means that the rest of the NFL, the players, the coaches, the people who really understand the game, knows how good this team is. They voted for Nick Bonito, Pat Surtain II, Quinn Meinerz, Marvin Mims Jr., Jonathan Cooper. They recognize the quality we have. So tell me, are you going to believe a one-game sample, or are you going to believe in 14 NFL games in which we were never losing at the end? Are you going to listen to Monday morning analysts who need to create drama to justify their salaries? Or will you trust what your eyes saw throughout the season? The concern I have, and it's legitimate, is with Dre'Mont Jones's injury. We know Justin Sternad is out, and we saw that Jones left at the end of the game with a thigh injury. If this thigh injury keeps him out for 4 weeks, that worries me quite a bit for the playoffs. But look on the bright side. The Chargers also lost a starting linebacker to suspension. At the end of the day, every team has to deal with adversity. The difference is in how you respond to it. Here's another bombshell news that went unnoticed by most people. The Kansas City Chiefs announced they're no longer playing in Kansas City, Missouri. They're moving the stadium to Kansas. This means the Broncos' last game at Arrowhead will be in 2030. And I'm absolutely certain that Bo Nix will end his reign by beating the Chiefs at Arrowhead several times before that happens. In fact, we'll see it again this week on Christmas. It'll be the perfect gift for Broncos country, a victory over the Chiefs at Arrowhead, with them playing with their third-string quarterback, solidifying our position in the AFC and showing everyone that this team is serious. The difference between our ownership group and the rest of the NFL is also glaring. While the Chicago Bears are sending letters to season ticket holders saying they might move the team to Gary, Indiana, yes, you read that right, and the Chiefs are leaving Kansas City, Missouri, the Walton-Penner Group is investing heavily in the Broncos, the stadium, infrastructure, everything. This isn't coincidence. This is the kind of stability and long-term vision that builds dynasties. So tell me, Broncos fans, what's your panic level? On a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being zero concern and 10 being certainty that we'll be eliminated in the first round of the playoffs. Because I'll be honest with you, last night, my wife sent one of my kids to tell me they were sad about the Broncos' loss. Sometimes my family treats me gently after a loss because they think I'll be in a bad mood. But I can say with complete certainty that of all the Broncos' losses I've suffered as a fan over the years, this was the one that bothered me the least. Why? Because I know exactly what happened. We had Liam Cohen as that fanatic uncle at the Turkey Bowl, using smelling salts and yelling motivational phrases. They played the game of their lives. And you know what? That's okay, because when the playoffs start, there won't be any slogans to save them. There won't be any "nobody believes in us" that works. It'll be pure football, talent against talent, culture against culture. And in that game, I bet on the Denver Broncos every time. You want to know the truth that nobody in the national media wants to admit? The ESPN analysts, NFL Network, all these guys who spend all day creating dramatic narratives, they need to create drama. They need to make you believe that everything is lost after one loss, that the defense collapsed, that the team has no chance in the playoffs. Why? Because it generates clicks, it generates views, it makes you come back to their site tomorrow to see the next absurd hot take they'll invent. Bo Nix will have to win playoff games in a shootout. The Broncos' defense has been figured out. Sean Payton lost control of the team. It's all nonsense. It's all engagement engineering disguised as sports analysis. The reality is we have a 12-3 team with a rookie quarterback who's improving every week, with a defense that was dominant for 14 games and had one bad game, with a coach who already won a Super Bowl and knows exactly what needs to be done to get there again, and with a group of players who genuinely believe in each other. The NFL playoffs are a different beast. There, it doesn't matter if you were 14-3 or 10-6 in the regular season. What matters is who plays better in the moment. And this Denver Broncos team, with all the pieces it has, with Sean Payton's experience, with the talent of Bo Nix, Pat Surtain II, Nick Bonitto, Cortland Sutton, Quinn Meinerz, and all the others who received Pro Bowl votes, has everything to make a deep run. And look, I'm going to be completely transparent with you, because that's what real fans deserve. Are there legitimate concerns? Of course there are. Dre'Mont Jones's injury worries me. The fact that the defense has had some performance drops in December worries me. The pressure of being in the playoffs for the first time since 2015 might affect some younger players. But you know what gives me confidence? The way the team responded to the loss. There were no excuses, no blaming others. It was, we didn't play well enough. We're going to fix it. We're going back to our football. Lich. That's the mentality of champions. Nick Bonitto said, "We haven't been playing our kind of football and we're going back to playing that way." John Franklin Myers took responsibility. It's all on the defensive line. We're going to get better. Bo Nix was philosophical. It's better to get punched in the mouth in December than in January. These guys got the message. One loss doesn't define a season. In fact, sometimes a loss at the right time can be exactly what a team needs to tighten the screws, eliminate complacency, and arrive at the playoffs with real hunger. You know how many teams that won the Super Bowl had perfect regular seasons? Very few. Know how many had at least one questionable loss at the end of the regular season? The overwhelming majority, because at the end of the day, what matters isn't never falling. What matters is how you get up after you fall. So here's my promise to Denver Broncos fans. This team will surprise a lot of people in the playoffs. While everyone's burying us after one loss, while analysts are crossing our name off the list of favorites, this team is going to make noise. Because there's something the numbers don't capture, that statistics don't show, that analysts sitting in air-conditioned studios can't measure. The chemistry of this team, the way they play for each other, Sean Payton's leadership, Bo Nix's mentality, the elite of elite that is Pat Surtain II, Nick Bonitto's explosion, Cortland Sutton's reliability. This isn't a team that will crumble under pressure. This is a team that will embrace the moment. And when all is said and done, when the playoffs are over and the dust settles, I truly believe we'll be talking about how the 2024 Denver Broncos were the team that finally brought Broncos country back to the top of the NFL. Mark my words, the path to the Super Bowl goes through Denver. And this time, we're not going to waste the opportunity. So answer me in the comments. Are you with me? Do you believe this team has what it takes? Or are you going to let one loss destroy all the work of an incredible season? Because I'm all in on the Denver Broncos. And you? If you made it this far, leave your like, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with everyone in Broncos country. We need to show these outside analysts that here in Denver, we don't give up. We don't panic. We fight until the end. Let's go Broncos.